And if we focus on the other side at Glasgow and talk about Rangers, Daniel, it sounds like they're going to have a much quieter window compared to Celtic. The striker position, of course, is their priority as well. Shankland's potentially in the conversation, but might not happen. Also, there is another striker that's been spoken about quite a lot, but it might happen. Kevin Van Veen, of course, formerly at Motherwell, potentially. Do you think, as a fan, is it concerning if Clermont manages to find a striker that can start scoring goals for them properly? Could that be the jigsaw puzzle piece that they've been missing to potentially go on and win the league?
Oh, I think there's no question. Although his last sort of season and a bit at Rangers wasn't anywhere near spectacular, we can all see how much they've missed Alfredo Morelos. For all his faults, he was a great talisman, a fantastic goal scorer. He's their, I think, the record European goal scorer. And you think about the list of names they've had over the years playing up top at Ibrox. That's no mean feat. He played such a big part in their run to the Europa League final in 2022. So they've missed that. Danilo looks different. It looks decent. He's sort of, seems to be getting better the more he's played, but he's had injury problems. One of them was a really unfortunate one with a cheekbone injury, which was a bit of a freak accident. But I think although Dessers has started to have his moments, particularly the one he had against Betis, to get him out of that group, that was a really good goal he scored. He's clearly not up to it. I still don't know what position Sam Lammers actually plays. I thought he was brought in as a striker, then he plays as a winger. Now he's played in midfield as well, so I don't know what he does. But I think the big problem for Rangers, and we say this every year, Frank, don't we? In the summer, they spent a lot of money on signings who, apart from Jack Butland, who was a free transfer at the end of the day, the signings have just not been up to the mark at all. And ultimately, that falls on Michael Beale. He was backed to make huge changes to that squad to, sort of move them on, I think, if you like, from the Gerrard era, because Van Bronckhorst's team was basically Gerrard's team with a couple of players thrown in there, like Cholak, who, again, I think is one of the craziest transfer decisions I've seen for a long time, when to sell Antonio Cholak, who I thought was a really good striker. And I couldn't believe that. And what they replaced him with ultimately hasn't been up to the mark. So yeah, the names you mentioned there, I watched Lawrence Shankland last night against Hibs at Easter Road. Missed the penalty very early on in the game, but the goal that he scores to win it for Hearts at the end is just top class.
Unbelievable.
And as an aside, if he's not on the plane for Scotland in the summer to go to Germany, I think that would be mental. But it's obvious why Rangers want him. He, like Miovski, is a good fit. We can see how he does domestically. He's also got a couple of European goals to his name as well. Shankland, and then you mentioned Van Veen, who was absolutely brilliant for Motherwell before he made the move, and it's a move that doesn't seem to have worked out for him, both from a footballing standpoint and a personal standpoint, because I think his family's still over in Scotland. So it's not quite worked out for him to go back to the Netherlands. But he's obviously on the age scale a little bit older than Shankland. So it's probably not a long-term option. If we're talking about a sort of long-term alternative to Morelos or Cholak, I don't think Van Veen is that option. But if they could get him a sort of cut price deal in January, then he's certainly a good option towards the end of the season. And it will make things interesting. It's probably the one thing that Rangers right now are missing, is that consistent goal scorer. Cantwell's come onto a bit of a game at late, but they're still relying too much on their captain, on the right back, to score goals, whether that be from the penalty spot or in live play. Certainly
don't start Frank on don't start Frank on that.
I'm not going to go any further than that. I'm not going to go any further than that. But yeah, they can't rely on a right back to score goals. No team can be really successful and do that. So they need that alternative. But I think, like with Miovski being a difficult one in January for Celtic, I think Shankland will also be a difficult one. But he's also been asked about it every opportunity, and I'm sure Stephen Naismith, the Hearts manager, will also be asked about it the more we get into January. So it's going to be an interesting one to see. We could end up with both teams making some big moves in terms of strikers in January.
And Frank, one of the big names, of course, that's been spoken about a lot is Abdallah Sima. Of course, looks like he could also be signing of the summer despite it being a loan deal. 18 Premiership games this season, 9 goals, 2 assists. Do you think that they really need to tie him down to a permanent contract with Brighton? Could he propel them?
What is the price for that?
It'd be, I think Pete mentioned about 10 to 15 million pounds potentially. So not possible in January, but in the summer.
It's not possible in the summer either, really. I don't know if it will be an inquest if they get 15 million to buy a player. I think Shanklin's going to be the same. He's going to be about 5 million. You're right, Daniel. I think it's be too dear for Rangers if they want to buy players. What they have got now is they've got Souness in there as well, and they, no matter what people think, he can pick a player. This manager looks as if he knows a player. I thought Bill, he ran the show. All these boys that are in there, that was his picks. That's why he's out. It's a strange one for a manager to do everything. He's never played a game in his life. I'm not saying that. You don't have to. But the guy was trying to do everything. And he's brought some players in where nobody questioned how good they are. And it's shown now. I don't think at the moment Rangers are playing well. They're winning games, but they're not playing well. As Celtic start playing, I just want to get our players back. I don't know about you, but the amount that I have missed watching Hatate play is incredible. I didn't think we'd miss someone as much as that. We've not got anyone controlling things in midfield. And he's the guy that does that. And he's the guy that looks for Kyogo every time he gets the ball. So, but I don't know what to say about Celtic at this moment and going against Rangers. I think we'll beat them at Celtic Park. I think if you're not up for that, if Celtic's not up for it, even Rangers going there, but if Celtic's not up for that game because they've clawed their way back, they could go on top. If Celtic's not up for that, then you should not wear the Celtic jersey again. If the players, each and every one of them, don't produce at the weekend, then it'll be a disgrace that they're in that squad come January. Wow. I know, but the fans deserve better than what they've been getting. Dundee, I thought they'd done brilliant. I thought the intensity and the pace and what they played was brilliant. It's back to what Brendan wants. Different style from Ange, but he got it at the weekend, or he got it against Dundee. And why he wouldn't get that going in here, and everyone's got to. The last, I don't know what Daniel thinks, but the last couple of games have been dire to watch. I mean, awful to watch. And when did Celtic get beat 3? You were hoping that they weren't going to go get beat 3 games in a row. That's not been done for a long, long time. So I just hope everyone's up for it and everyone's fit. Maeda has come back, but he's not hit the ground running. He's not made an impact, but his presence on the pitch has made an impact because people are scared of his pace, and which makes a difference, and to defenders and fullbacks. But I'm looking forward to it. It's the closest. I never thought it'd be this close, but I just don't think the defence at Rangers are any good. We're talking about scoring goals and all that. I'm concerned I don't even want to talk about our defence because I don't know who's going to be fit the weekend. So I'm not really want to talk about that because, I don't know who's going to come in. But their defence is not very good. 64, I'd love to play against them just now as myself. I think I'd back myself to score again.
You've just watched a segment from Football Insider's brand new podcast, The Inside Track, with me, Lewis Pearce, alongside the guests on the show. Thanks very much for tuning in. Please do give the video a like, comment your thoughts on the topic, and feel free to share on your social media pages. If you want to listen to the full podcast episode, click the link in the description below. Keep your eyes peeled for plenty more content and exclusives here on The Inside Track.